This is a farewell of sorts. I have been on the foldable train for a few years now. My first foldable was the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold3, which I still have and I use attached to a 4K monitor using ducts every day. I have it up on one of my monitors that you can't see, which is above. But here I have my Z Fold5, which I've had for a while. We know that the Z Fold 7 is coming out this year. And so I had planned to upgrade, because you can kind of tell I'm on a odd number train. I had the 3, this is the 5, and of course I would get the 7. But been reading about the 7 rumors and the suggestion that in order to make the thing thinner, because you know thickness is the all-important thing, and it is pretty chunky when it's folded up, admittedly. It's a chunky boy. But moving away from Wacom, if you've watched any of my other videos, you know how big of a fan I am of pen-enabled devices. And I've been really big on Wacom EMR. And the Fold 5 and Fold 3, and actually, when did it start? Would it start with the Fold 3? I think that's why I bought the 3, because that one actually supported the pen. I was planning on getting the 7 until I learned that Samsung's not really looking at keeping EMR, because you have to have that digitizer layer, and the digitizer layer adds thickness. So if they move to something like USI, which I've also talked about in previous videos, then they can get rid of that digitizer layer and have an ever so slightly thinner phone with now a new technology. That does not interest me at all. And you may be looking at this thing, you're thinking that looks terrible, because it does. I'm not going to be able to keep it clean for this video. I cleaned it before the video started and it's already filthy. But you may see that the screen protector is starting to come apart here at the crease. The screen still works fine. When you turn it on, it's a little bit less noticeable how how messed up the crease is. I actually took it into Samsung last week thinking, oh, I'll have the screen protector replaced because I have Samsung Care Plus. But Samsung, apparently their systems were down and I couldn't get it done, so I still have this terrible screen protector rise in the middle, which probably doesn't matter as much, because since I did decide that I'm probably not going to upgrade to the 7, because again, I do actually use the pen on my device. You can see I got GoodNotes right here on this screen. This isn't my main home screen. I'm keeping some of my personal information that's on the first screen off, but here on the second home screen you can see I've got my dock and I've got apps that I use, and I've got GoodNotes right here because I use it pretty frequently. So the pen is pretty important to me. So I made a decision that I would move from this Fold that I have loved and adored for almost 2 years now, and move back to my first Samsung love. I had the original Samsung Galaxy Note when everybody thought it was too freaking big. And I had the 2, and I had the 3, and I had the 4, and the 5, and the 6, and I didn't get the 7 because I didn't move quickly enough before those things started blowing up. And I had an 8, and I took a break, moved around, did different brands, played around with some LG stuff back when LG still existed. Anyway, the point is I've had pretty much every Note up till the very last one, the Note 20. I think I missed out on the 9, the 7, and the 9 and the 10, I think. But I had the 20. I traded in the 20 to get this one. The Samsung's trade-in deals are really, really good. And speaking of trade-in deals, I'm going to be trading in this one. This is one of probably the last few videos I will make featuring this phone. I will be sad to see it go, because I do love this form factor, this nice wide screen that looks pretty good, even though it's got this big thick screen protector on it. I'm actually kind of puzzled as to why this one is peeling up, because my Fold 3, which is off camera, is pristine. That device does have some tiny bit of damage to the screen right around here where all the pixels are gone and it's just black, because I dropped it within the first month that I got it, and I didn't have Samsung Care Plus on that one. But other than that one, the screen protector on that one is still fine. I don't understand why this one, I'm assuming they changed the screen protector technology. But yes, I'm going to be trading in my beloved Fold because I picked this up. Yes, it is a Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra, which means I'm kind of back on the Note train again. Even though the Note name was disappeared, as it were, they still have the Ultra. And it's virtually the same as having a Note because you still have the pen in the bottom and the little hole in the bottom here. So it's basically a Note. And I wanted to see what One UI 7 was all about and what some of the Galaxy AI features are. So I just got this one a couple of days ago and I've set it up, transferred everything over from my Fold. And I can tell you that I need a lot more time with this device to really get a sense of what makes it different and better than previous Notes and the foldable from a software perspective, what is really in One UI. But I can tell you, after years of having the fingerprint reader over here on the side on the power button, and you see how effortless that was, right? It never fails. I have never had any problems with the fingerprint reader on this phone or on the Fold 3. It has been just perfect. This in-screen thing with the Ultra has been a bit more problematic. Now, to be fair to the phone, I have a screen protector that I installed before I ever turned the phone on. I put the case on. I got one of these cases with the camera protection and the magnet. And yes, it does attract fingerprints. And the stand, there's a stand here. And I like this because of the camera protection. I'm obviously going to be using this phone for B-roll and photos of products, and so why not have the best camera from a Samsung perspective that you can get. But this fingerprint reader is so temperamental, and I set it up. Oh, that worked. I set it up with the screen protector on. I have done my finger, this thumb, 3 times just so it will kind of work, and it's better now. You really have to push hard, and I don't know if that's because of the screen protector. The screen protector does make it harder, but not impossible to use. But I wanted to have one on here because I do plan on using this pen. I don't want to scratch up the screen. And I have noticed that with other phones that I have, like I have a Sony Xperia, and I've scratched the screen. It doesn't go outside. It stays in the house. This phone doesn't leave my house. It almost never leaves the house. This is another phone that I use as a camera for B-roll and photo shots because the Sony has, pretty good cameras, even though this phone is pretty old. It's probably 3 years old at this point, but it has, well, if I show you the right side, it has a headphone jack. So I can plug microphones right into this thing and use it like a camera. It's great. I love Sony for their camera focused phones. I have so many scratches on the screen. I don't know how I got them. Again, I barely use this phone. It makes no sense. I have a Motorola phone that I used as a primary phone for a while, and I scratched that screen up as well. And I baby my devices. I put them in cases from day one. I was never a big fan of screen protectors because I prefer to have the touch, unhindered. But I put one on here day one because I don't want scratches on this thing, and I'm sure I'm going to trade it in probably next year for the next thing so I can stay on top of technology changes. So that does make it harder. That is the first thing I really noticed, is how annoying it is to use the fingerprint reader on screen. And I have fingerprint on screen readers on my tablets. I have the Samsung S9, the Tab S9, and the Tab S9 Ultra. And those both have paper feel screen protectors on them. And I have no issues with those fingerprint readers. And I didn't have to scan my fingers multiple times. So maybe it's this phone, maybe it's me, maybe it's because it's winter. I notice it does work better if I've moisturized my hands. Tip for people out there who maybe are struggling. It needs to know you're not dead. You need to have some moisture. But as for right now, I'm just getting used to the the difference in size, even though the Ultra is a big phone, clearly the Foldable is even bigger. So getting used to that size difference. It is going to be hard to say goodbye to this, but at least I do still have the Fold 3 that I can use as a little small tablet if I want to take it on the go, and it does still work just fine. And I have other tablets, but I am going to miss my Fold 5, and I'm very sad about the direction that Samsung's going with the Fold 7. So anyway, just wanted to give a quick little update on what's going on in my tech world. I will be spending more time with this phone, trying to get a better sense of what makes it so much better in One UI 7, because everybody says One UI 7 is great. And I can tell you from being able to scroll, oh my goodness, that is, and it's not life-changing, but it is great. I have a custom launcher on here. I've been using Octopi Launcher. Thanks to Shane Craig for even bringing that into my life, because I wasn't even aware that existed. But he reviewed it on his channel, and I thought, okay, great. A launcher that allows you to have a different front screen and interior screen, because I almost always have my phone open. So this is the screen. I bought this phone because I wanted this big screen, so I use this screen almost all the time. I will open the phone. I'm one of those people who never uses the outside screen unless I really have to. I will open the phone and use the big one, even out and about in public. So having the ability to customize both screens and have them different, just like you can with the Samsung launcher, was important to me. And this one also allows you to scroll. And again, this is just being able to scroll through your apps. You wouldn't think it would be that big of a deal, but having that sideways, so tiresome. Having one screen and just being able to go through it. So I do appreciate at least that much about One UI 7. So that's where I am with it for now. We'll see where things go and what kind of coverage and comparisons I do in the future. But I got it in the house, and we'll see what I think of it. Thanks for watching.